Worst Quality Crab, a podcast of Asian American stories and recipes from best quality hearts. I'm your host, Freesia Lee. We are live here at KALW. I am joined by my host and producer, Samson Lee.
Hello.
Joining us for this very special live episode. I'm so excited. I didn't print out your bio.
No need.
I don't know.
Just wing it.
Okay. All right. Now I feel like I'm going to mess up your name, too. Oh, God. We did. Oh, the pressure is on, guys.
We're all friends here.
We are friends here.
All friends
Bonnie
here.
Tsui.
Perfect.
Oh, thank you. Okay. I'm also having a fangirl moment. So here's the thing. Bonnie is amazing. That's the bio.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night. Thank you all for coming out. No, Bonnie, journalist, author of On Muscle, most recently, author of Why We Swim. They all have subtitles, but author of American Chinatown, which we'll talk about tonight, author of Big Wave, Sarah and the Big Wave.
Yeah.
Did you secretly write a book about women in the Civil War, or
I
is
did,
that
but that's a secret.
okay?
And that we worked together on a story I wrote about.
This is the other secret, is when you wrote a story about the Asian Art Museum, and it was lovely. And the moment that you got assigned that story, and I knew that it was you, I knew that I wanted to ask you to do this podcast, but for professional reasons, I had to wait.
And here we are.
And here we are. And it worked out well,
I'm so delighted.
so that we could be here.
This is
But
wonderful.
there was the part of me that was like, I have to keep my day job. I probably shouldn't ask her immediately.
I would have said yes.
No, I know, but the conflict of interest, there was a whole journalistic integrity. It was a
I
whole
know.
thing.
I try to uphold that.
I know.
Whenever possible.
Why I figured.
Yeah.
But we're so glad that you're here. Thank you
I'm
so
so
much.
glad to be here.
Yay.
And with all of you.
Sorry that you all
Yay.
had to sit through that. It's just me fawning and fawning and fawning over. Anyway, for those of you new here to this show or listening, apologies, first of all. What we do on this show, we bring on AAPI guests and they talk about growing up Asian America through the lens of food, stories, and a childhood dish. If you maybe hadn't picked up, there's a little bit of a fortune cookie theme here. Bonnie's grandfather worked in a fortune cookie factory, and so that's a part of the story. Yes. But also we're going to talk about Asian dessert soups.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Yeah.
I think we all have a lot of feelings here, and I have such good feelings, and I hope you do too. Strong feelings.
Well, so this is something, so we have a little questionnaire that people fill out before the show, and they prep for it. And when you wrote that, I got so excited because it's a thing that I grew up with and didn't realize how much I missed it.
Yeah.
Because it's not really part of the experience anymore.
Oftentimes in Chinatowns, you won't find them on the menu, or it's like an afterthought at the end.
Yeah,
You know?
well, I guess also we don't go out as much anymore.
Yeah, it was always like the surprise at the end where
Yeah.
like you get the bill and then you get some oranges and then you get this like magical sweet soup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before, yes. Now,
No,
questionable.
But it was like my mom made it at home. You know, and it was like, yeah, she did. She would make a red bean soup at home. And it was like my favorite thing. And then we would put a little bit of swirl of like evaporated milk or swirl of condensed milk. And it would just be like, and actually my mouth is watering right now thinking about it, because it's like, that to me is like home and love. And like I'm in my mom's kitchen. And then also that and then we can talk about the fortune cookie thing. My grandfather worked in a fortune cookie factory in New York, Chinatown when I was growing up. And so in our lunches, we would have the reject cookies. Woo! And this bag is full of reject cookies, you'll see, because does this look correct to you? Where is the fortune? But I have such affection for the ones that look like this, or the ones that look like, have like 3 fortunes in them, or the ones that are
3
like,
fortunes?
Yeah, or sometimes 5. Someone's fingers got really hot and they were just grabbing at the fortunes to put them in, because in the past my grandfather told me how, like, and I always think about this when the little circles of dough go by, like in the I Love Lucy skit, where the chocolates are just but like instead of the chocolates going by on the conveyor belt, it's like these little circles of dough, and you have to fold it fast enough before it hardens to get the fortune in there, to fold it in the right shape. And then if you didn't, then my grandfather would throw them into the pail at his feet, and then we would get all the rejects at home in bags like this, as with from Golden Gate Fortune Cookie Factory. But they don't fold, like obviously they do it at Golden Gate Fortune Cookies, but they don't necessarily fold them by hand. And my grandfather would have his fingers bandaged because it's scalding hot dough. So the circles are coming out, and then you've got to put the fortunes in, fold them and do that shape, and then they go in and cool. And he shared cookie machine number 2 in this factory, which is like 2 machines, with the guy who became like the future head of like the Chinese Consolidated Benevolent Association in New York, Chinatown, who I ended up interviewing for this book for American Chinatown when I went to write about it many years later. And we're talking, and I'm telling him, and he said, I was saying, oh, my grandfather used to work. And then he looked at me and he's like, who was your grandfather? And then I went home and I told my grandfather, and he said, I remember Eric Ng. He was, and then I showed him a picture, and he said, he still looks the same. Here's this guy, businessman in a suit with a brush cut. And I don't know, at that point, maybe he was like 60 or so. And I just showed him, like, my grandfather's photo of him, and he's just like, he's the same. I remember him. And and here he was like a kid when he was like a teenager, probably working.
Oh my God.
And it was like this full circle. I was like, everyone in Chinatown knows each other and then knows you. So, it was, it actually reminded me of your story about the Scarsdale shop at the grocery. We'll talk about that later, yes. Where everyone is like watching you in the shops, in the Chinese grocery.
Hot take.
Yeah.
The flats are better.
Yeah.
Yes. Agree.
Would you like some? We can frisbee some flats to you.
Flats.
Yes.
Pass them around.
Yay.
I wish
Flats
I could
are better?
eat these now, but the crunch would kill everyone's ears.
No, we'll send you home with some.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate that.
The flats are like chips. And then they...
Yeah, and they all end up in your shirt.
I think less end up in your shirt because you just eat and then there's no break, and then...
Unless you eat them lying down.
Well, then... Yeah, that's true. Okay, I want to go back to the red bean soup.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
That to me is... I say this about a lot of things. You know this. Mm-hmm. I cannot imagine that is a thing that a person can make at home.
Oh, really?
Because I know, look, I got a what from because I've only had it in a restaurant.
Oh, yeah.
Because no one in my family makes Chinese food in any form. I know Sabrina's crazy.
So easy.
I know. Look, I know.
It's just a lot of boiling.
It's a lot of boiling.
It's a lot of
I know,
boiling.
it's a lot of boiling, it's a lot of sugar. But I don't know. Like, that is a thing that for me was like, you go out, it's at the end, and it's special.
Yeah.
It's like at most once every couple weeks. So the idea that it happens at home?
You should treat yourself.
What?
And make it in your home.
What?
And your whole home will smell of this lovely fragrance forever. No, but really, like, it's really easy.
Do you make it?
Easy. I have made it. I have actually made fortune cookies at home.
Oh.
What?
And let me tell you, that's actually pretty hard because of the full. It's all because of the speed of which you have to do the thing. But it was really fun, and they tasted pretty good. And and it's like the recipe is extremely simple. So I couldn't get it this thin and this even. It was like maybe a little lumpy, but I think we did a great job in a Brooklyn crappy kitchen that had roaches in it. But that's a story for another tale.
I mean, that's
another
a lot
day,
of
sorry.
Brooklyn kitchens.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
fine.
But yeah, we can also talk about that.
Is there a step after you fold it, or do you just like let it dry and then it?
Oh, you fold it and then you put it onto like I mean, you can even put it on parchment paper or a like a cookie sheet, and it's just because then it's just hardened. It hardens very quickly. I mean, it cools very quickly. That's the thing. It's not even like, it's not going to actually lose its shape after you do it, and like, because because it's just fast.
How did you make these? Like, is it? I mean, we're just talking flour, butter, sugar.
Yeah,
egg.
Well, yeah,
What?
it's a very simple recipe.
Oh,
Yeah, like. Yeah, let's talk after the show.
No.
And then sometimes, like, you know, the vanilla flavoring or the orange flavoring or whatever it is that you want. But I mean,
No, Bonnie, the show is talking about the make the cookie. Tell the people.
But it is like, it's like flour, sugar, water. It's not. I don't even remember if there was any eggs in it. Like, I'm serious. Like, I think it's like we could look. I mean, I wish I had remembered to look at my recipe for this. It's like just such a simple, and like a oil, like vegetable oil.
Okay.
Is it like heat in a pan or heat in an oven?
We use the oven. It's like you had to cook them just enough, and then the flats.
Flatten them.
No, they're
Or
flat.
they're
They yeah. You cook them in the oven, just enough, and then you take them out and fold them, and
that's
then they
it.
cool.
Oh.
Yeah, that's it.
Did you have to bandage your fingers before you?
And I'm trying to. I think we just tried to do it really fast.
Wow.
But I remember I talked to my grandfather about it before we did it, and then we showed him, and he was like, "Yeah, not bad."
Oh.
But you know, and there's like a post. I mean, if you were like you were getting a pro set up at home,
right?
You would have that post that would stick out, so you could go
fold it over.
Like you would go like this. You would fold it up. Like first it's a pinch, and you have you know how there's like the edges, and then you would bloop. Exactly.
Yeah.
And
they do have the little like pole that they
exactly
fold it over.
Yeah.
Has everybody been to Golden Gate Fortune Cookie Company? Okay, good. I went today to get these. They're very fresh, by the way. These are today.
They're very fresh.
They're very fresh. And
nothing's worse than when they get like kind of wet and a little soggy. Oh yeah, I had them in my lunch.
Oh yeah,
at school. So like in our lunch, I'd be like, oh, our lunch is maybe. I mean, sometimes I would have like a tasyu, I would have a roast pork bun.
Yeah.
And I'd have fortune cookies, and then like I'd really be embarrassed about my lunch because like when I was going to school in Long Island, I'm like, all these other kids have, I don't know, like sandwich, you know.
Like a bologna sandwich.
Yeah. And then my mom started giving me bologna sandwiches, and I was like, take me back. Take me back. I really, they're so gross. But the fortune cookies were like currency.
I was going to say, you must have had the best.
Yeah, it was pretty
trading.
good. Yeah. And I was pretty proud of that.
Yeah.
Like the roast pork bun, you know, was like a little stinky maybe, and it was like in foil, and then it was like she'd heat it up and put it in the foil, and then I'd open it up, and it's like, it's a little stinky, and it's also kind of wet. You know, again, it's not ideal conditions.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Brown bag lunch is not an ideal condition for food that requires heating.
Yeah. But a fortune cookie with five fortunes, feels like,
and I'm just like,
playground gold.
Yeah. Yeah.
What could you get for it?
Oh, like a fruit roll up or something.
Nice.
You know? Or I don't know, Doritos.
Oh.
Ooh.
That's an upgrade. Yeah, it's
I mean, I probably have to give them like 3 fortune cookies for the.
But you had unlimited supply.
That's true. I would just go home and open the drawer, and there's like the big plastic bag like that with all the cookies in them.
Was he bringing them every day?
So I was born in Queens, New York, but we moved to Long Island when I got to school age, and then every Sunday we would go to my grandparents' house, first in Chinatown and then in Flushing, like hang out and then have dinner as a family, and then we would get the bag of rejects to bring back. Yeah.
So like a weekly supply.
Oh yeah.
You would just
Yeah.
play around.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
I know. Gold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man. Did you know how good you had it?
I do now. I mean, when you brought out that bag of the flat circles, I was like, you saw my face?
Yeah, I did.
I was like, the rejects.
Yeah. Well, what's funny is they are not cheap.
Really?
No.
Can we talk about how much they cost?
$12. Yeah. They know what they're doing.
Oh, that's so.
They know they taste better.
Oh.
They know that there's a bunch of me's out there that love them.
You're really outing them here.
I know.
Now they're gonna be 50.
I know.
What do they cost compared to the regular non-rejects?
What was the bag? I think the other bag was a few dollars more. I mean, listen, no shade to Golden Gate Fortune Cookie Company. We love them. Great.
Yes.
Tourists. It's
We
for tourists.
adore them.
They're great. They
keep the tradition alive too.
They keep the tradition alive
there.
I love it. Like, it's a great place. I will tell people about it all the time. I think I loved every person that was in there, and they were taking their pictures, and they took selfies outside, and they were very like, oh, ooh, ah, yay. And there was a whole section that had like adult fortunes on it and it was X-rated, and I was like, great, good for you. All the flavors.
They do
chocolate dipped
custom.
ones. They do custom. Great. I love it. But I was like, oh, okay, I'm here shopping as a local, and I know that I'm not supposed to do this, but here we are. I'm doing it for you. I'm doing it for the people. I'm doing it for the lols.
We appreciate it.
But yeah, I was like, oh, they know what they're doing.
I mean, the thing is, like, yes, like the tourists love it. It's an awesome place to take pictures. But I remember bringing my mom when I was writing the Chinatown book. I brought my mom there because it was the one place I knew that they still did it the OG way on those old machines. And we were the only people there that day. And she was just like, oh, like, you know, like, this is what my gong gong was doing. Like, this is like our family's path to America was paved with fortune cookies. Like, it really was, you know? Like,
I mean, I think that's the thing too, right? Like, they are doing it that way. It isn't a machine factory.
Yeah.
So like, they know what they're doing, and like, they're literally doing it the old school way. And like, I went there as a kid on a field trip.
Yeah. Yes.
So like,
right. It's
I
like field
respect
trip heaven.
it's field trip heaven. And like, I grew up here, and so there is that aspect of it of like, they've been there the whole time.
Yeah.
Like, 8-year-old me also went there and like had the flats and has loved them since then.
Inflation, though, you know?
Inflation, for sure. But it is also two ladies on two machines, just cranking them out. So like, respect to selling the flats for nearly as much. They have the mini flats now though, which also.
Oh, I could pop those on an airplane.
Oh,
easy.
super dangerous. I've got those for the kids. I was like, you get the minis, because that's also brought those to work.
I mean, I really like fortune cookie. Like, I like the flavor. I mean, these ones especially too. Like, it's very fresh, very crunchy. Did everyone here have one today? Oh wait, should we ask them about the fortunes?
Oh, anybody want to read their fortune?
If you have your fortunes, will you read them?
Just a super random break in the podcast.
I'll start by reading the one I got.
Yeah.
Which was really funny. I put it in my pocket, and I was telling Freesia that I used to put the ones I liked in my wallet, and she's like, she did.
I did the same thing. Anybody? Yeah.
Okay. Mine says, good things are being said about you.
Ooh.
You said good things about me earlier. That was
you.
so nice. You knew.
I knew.
I love this one. You tend to spark the flame of enthusiasm in people.
Oh, that is a keeper. Put it in your wallet right now.
I know. It's so going in my wallet.
Yeah.
So I had to take this out of my wallet to read.
Oh.
But I got it tonight. It says, you will meet someone special at a social event.
Oh my God.
Look around.
I know. This is
Take your pick.
Wow.
I usually keep mine in the back of my phone when I get a good one. You have the ability to be very persuasive.
Ooh.
This is true. I know this about her. It's fact. There's a whole bowl. It's The Night is Young. You might get more.
You will soon make an important decision.
Whoa.
Report back, please.
Let's talk. Yeah.
Report back.
I had one, but I forgot, and I put it in the compost. So I was told there was something about having personal freedom, and then I was told I lost my freedom when I put it in the compost. No, this is a different one.
You're going to have to get a new one. There's more cookies.
Be tactful. What goes around comes around.
Oh.
Okay. Warning.
Yeah. Let's pivot a little bit.
Okay.
You talked about growing up, fortune cookies, this factory in Chinatown. What led you to American Chinatown? I mean, it's kind of led to American Chinatown. A little bit. But it wasn't the only thing.
Oh.
How did you get to the book? I mean, we're here. We're technically on the edge of Chinatown.
Yeah.
I've got the Chinatown T-shirt on
Yes.
for this audio medium that I'm on. But I bought this in Chinatown
Yeah.
at my favorite place on Waverly with
Yeah.
their one-time collab with Mochi Kids. Shout out both of them.
Love it.
Yeah. How?
Why did I write the book?
Yeah.
You know, I actually, grew up going to Chinatown all the time. And I was like baptized in New York. And I was baptized at like Transfiguration Church in
I went to Chinese school there.
Oh, man. Like, we had, weddings, funerals, christening, everything was there. We did our shopping, we would go visit family. And then when my grandparents and that extended family moved to, my aunts and uncles moved to Flushing, then it was like we would go to visit them in Flushing, and then we would still do our pilgrimages to Chinatown as well, or we'd do Flushing Main Street. And it was just like this, like I when I started to think about what this meant to me, it was like understanding the way that my grandparents, not just my grandfather, but my grandmother, my mom's mom, she worked in a garment factory in New York's Chinatown. And so they would then, when they moved from their apartment on Madison Street to Flushing, and had like a house, it was like they could afford, from working at the garment factory and the fortune cookie factory, then to bring, everyone to move to Flushing. And then, but they still took the bus, went to work every day in Chinatown, and that was like their community. And I could just picture them, like their footsteps kind of like just moving around, the trains and the buses and everything. Like that was the movement, that was like the migration of my family around these neighborhoods. And then when we then moved to Long Island, but then we came back, and it was like this like constant back and forth. And then I was talking earlier to some of you about how, when I was growing up in school in Long Island, that the weekend is when we got to be Chinese. Because growing up in Long Island at that time in the 80s, 70s and 80s, it was like in the 80s, it was like pretty white, right? Like I was like one of like very few kids of color in my classes growing up. And, people were, like kids are cruel, right? And I vividly remember lots of different things that happened, but I still was like centered on the weekends and taught to be proud of like, and also of the home, like the family, the food, all of the stuff, like that just was like comforting, right? So all of like the thing you're talking about, like the dessert soups, the red bean soup, the fortune cookies, that like this is all like, this is part of the anchoring and the love and the home, right? And so like the making of the red bean soup at home is like, that's like what fills your stomach and your heart, right? And so when I think about that now, it makes me smile, because like I'm like, I can taste it, I can smell it, I can feel, like these are the memories, right? And so I think about these times with great affection, and also what does it mean to me now? And then after college, I moved back to New York, and I lived in the West Village, and then I moved to the East Village. And then I could walk to Chinatown, like from my apartment all the time. So I would like walk down, and I would buy groceries, but I would also like walk around just to like hear people speak Cantonese, I would just be like, it's again, like that sonic landscape and the smells for good and bad, the puddles and the, everything for like, it's all like very evocative for me. And I knew that meant something to me. Like I knew that who am I as like a 20-something-year-old living on the edge of Chinatown, going back here to get the food, to go grocery shopping, to listen to the language. What am I looking for? And so I kind of carry that with me. And then when I was in college, I studied abroad a semester at the University of Sydney in Australia, and Sydney had a Chinatown, and I would just remember like walking around the Chinatown there and being like, it's the same but different. Like, like what are the stories of migration here? What are the language? Like all like what's everyone's story here? And then kind of being interested in that as it was like in Boston, in Toronto, in San Francisco, in LA, in Honolulu, in all these places that I would travel to like for work or for whatever reason, and then understanding like they're different. Like the flavor of this neighborhood is informed by the larger city. And like San Francisco, when I finally moved here too, it was like, oh, this is totally different. All these generations of Chinese people, like I just feel like I met a lot of Chinese Americans who like their families had been here for like 5 generations, and then back in New York, to me, a lot of the Chinese Americans I knew, most of them were like first generation born in America, like I was, and first generation to like go to college and for, all this stuff. And that my grandparents and my mom's generation also, like they came here as immigrants, and then understanding like that all felt still very new. And then moving here and meeting lots of Chinese Americans who were like, we've been here a long time, and like tracing the family back and like, born and raised, like all, like I just like, that's so different and that's so interesting. And I want to know about this Chinatown, and I want to know how people's relationship with Chinatown here is different. And when talking to the like 3 different generations in all of these different Chinatowns, I said, in the book I talk about 5. So I talk about New York, San Francisco, LA, Honolulu, and Las Vegas, like kind of new breed of Chinatown that starts not as a residential community, but as a commercial community first, that then becomes a residential community where people live there, move there because they're like, this is where I get the Chinese newspaper, this mall, it's called the Chinatown Mall. And like the food, the best food, and all the high rollers come off the strip and come to the Chinese restaurants that on Spring Mountain Road, that's Chinatown. Chinatown Plaza became Vegas Chinatown, like the epicenter. And so that whole story, it was like started by a Taiwanese businessman who was like, every city, really real great city, has got to have a Chinatown. Why not Las Vegas? And it's like, oh, this is self-invention. This is like, this is the whole, all the themes are the same, but it's like just engineered in a different way. Yeah. And I just thought that was so fascinating. And collecting, 3 generations of stories in each of these places was like, it made so much sense to me to kind of like put these stories next to each other and be like, what does this whole tell us? Told me a lot. And I still, like, that book, I wrote that book in like 2009, and I'm like, I was such a different person then, but I'm like, I have such affection for that person who wrote that book, because that person was like, this was a love letter. This was like such a love letter to my family that came through both New York and San Francisco's Chinatown, and also to all these people who made me feel at home when I wasn't at home.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting. So we've both been reading the book, and I think it's funny because Sam, can pick out the places in New York, and again, like went to Chinese school there. Mm-hmm. As I was getting the fortune cookies today, I was walking back through Chinatown, and I was like, oh, right, these are the 2 buildings, and this is the spot, and like I do have memories, but not in the sort of grew up here, but in the like again field trip sort of sense of it too. Uh-huh. But thinking, you did write the book kind of a while ago, and in some ways, like reading about the then kids that are now, I'm like, oh no, they're 40. they're probably moms.
No, for sure. Yeah.
But in some ways, like a lot of it is still the same. Mm-hmm. And there are parts in the book where it's like, oh, will Chinatown sort of phase itself out? And 15 years later, the answer, I mean, not that that's enough time, but like it hasn't changed in a lot of ways. And so, the answer kind of being no, at least not in the short term. And it just, no question, but just I think that that's really interesting that in the course of 15 years, like not that much has changed, other than that the people have sort of moved on, but there are new versions of the 20-year-old and the 60-year-old and
right, coming from different parts of China, right? So like these neighborhoods evolve, and like so I wrote about that in New York's Chinatown, how it was like from like the Cantonese and Toisan, speaking that region of China to like the Fujianese, right? Like at that time it was like this, and then it was like a change in the 90s and the aughts, right? And then it was like, then, you know, there was a parallel street of like Tamat Street. It was like, you know, Broadway, like, you know, East Broadway. That was like where the Fujianese were. And it was like, oh, well, how's, you know, and then there was like, you know, turf war, you know, like it was just like, then it was like you would move from one street to the next and you'd be like, this is like a totally different population, but it's still serving the same function for these people as it did for the previous generations that came. And then it's like, so it's like the slow evolution. And then and also like, I wanted to also say in response to your observing, like, you know, it's kind of the same and then slightly different, and then the same and then slightly different. People have talked about the end of Chinatown, like forever, like for
like 100 years.
Yeah. It's like, let's get rid of them at the Chinatown after the earthquake. Let's rebuild, like, you know, trying to, I mean, honestly, like eradicate and move the population and just let there be no more Chinatown. I mean, it's like really crazy, you know, this is why history and newspapers and like, you know, archives and preserving the accuracy, this is important to know. That's like, at that time, they were like, the government authorities were like, let's rid this city of the scourge of Chinatown. This is like prime real estate. Let's move, you know, and then let's not forget that the reason that the neighborhood actually was rebuilt in the way that it looks today, in this like very like ornate kind of Orientalist way, is because the Chinese business people were like really smart and were like, let's rebuild it in this like appealing way to white tourists. and it's like it is kind of quote unquote sanitized for this audience, because like even then they knew what they were doing. You know, they were like, the survival of this community depends in part on this real self-awareness and awareness of what is being asked of us. And that's why Chinatown is still here, you know, over there. It's like a stone's throw from where we are.
Tourist destination.
Yes.
In San Francisco, still, which is like, I don't know why it's surprising to me, but it is. I don't know.
People love to go there. People want to, and then you're kind of like, okay, so why do people go there? And it was really interesting when I was doing the research for the book in San Francisco at that time, you know, oh my God, what year? 15 years ago, like, you know, and I was like, okay, asking people, like the kids, right? The kids who are leading the alleyway tours in Chinatown, like, why do they keep coming back? Or like these, both new arrivals, people who've been here for generations, and also people who like grew up here. Like, what is that? Or like maybe moved, like had never ever lived in Chinatown, had never really needed Chinatown. Why do they come to Chinatown? And it's like, there's, you know, for someone who maybe like never had a relationship with Chinatown, as a Chinese American, they felt like it represents something to them. So when they come back, again, it's like, it's adjacent to what I was saying about like when I would walk from my apartment in the East Village to Chinatown, like I'm putting myself in a place that's like a psychic place. It's like a mental space as well as a physical place, as well as like language, you know, again. But even if you didn't if you didn't speak Chinese, you're like, I am in a community. It's a living community. It is a place that serves a population, and it serves different populations for different reasons. And even the tourists who come in, or the people who are locals who come in and do their shopping, like, you know, you're like, I feel like my 8-year-old school kid self, but also I'm like, I really want these flat, you know, like in the China, it's like you are also doing, like, you're doing something there, and it has something for you, and it's there, and it's always there, and I think also the way in which it continues to be there, and it's an idea of a place. So like, even if you're coming in and you don't have any direct connection to, you know, this apartment building, it's like, this place is a stand-in for something. It signals to me some seeking that I have for who I am, what this community means here and my relationship to it, and also our history here. We have been here. So like that means something, you know?
I want to talk about the other books, but the last, because I know that there are people that want to hear about the other books here. But I do just want to say that as I was going to get the fortune cookies and go back to the work, Google Maps really wanted me to walk up and down Grant every time. And was not the fastest route. And I was like, oh, Google Maps is really here for big tourism, which I thought was funny. But I was like, Google Maps, you know that I live here. But still, I was like, oh, do you want me to have this experience?
Interesting.
I don't know. I'm making it up. But it was really committed to me walking on Grant Street. And I was like, oh.
What if I went to Stockton, Google Maps?
Well, one of the things was like, there was one that was go to Stockton. And I was like, I appreciate that. Thank you. That feels more correct.
Similar arrival time.
But also, no, but Kearney is the answer. Kearney was the fastest route. So, but it was really just like, no, go on Grant. You need trinkets. It's fine. What time are we? How are we? I have no sense of anything.
5 to 8.
Oh boy. Okay. We're gonna do this quick. No. I'm so sorry. So sorry, Charles. Okay.
Thank you, Charles.
This is relevant, I swear. The other books.
Yes.
I feel like I'm going to make a sweeping generalization. Real big. You grew up in a household with a father who would say what?
Make me a muscle.
Make me a muscle. That is so foreign to me.
Really?
Yes. You grew up, you did Wing Chun.
Yeah.
I grew up in a completely devoid of sport household.
I was not very physical until I was forced to do martial arts. First karate, and then for some reason my dad, I guess for pride, was like, you gotta learn a Chinese thing. And so he put me into Wing Chun.
Oh no, but your parents do swim. See, I was gonna say, but your parents don't do anything, but they swim. They open water swim. Oh my God, I'm way off base on all of this.
They swim at the Y now.
Don't they swim? Weren't they swimming in the ocean for a little bit?
A little bit, but that was way later, not when I was a kid.
Okay. See, and I was gonna be like, you grew up with all of this. I don't know people that grew up with parents that were like, be physical. Wait, did you? You were on your own. You just chose it. I'm pointing at my friend Kristen, who I've known for a very long time and is maybe one of the other most physical people I've ever known. And I told her to read On Muscle because she used to do powerlifting. Ooh. Sorry, listeners at home. This is extremely specific. You have to bear with me. Tell me about this upbringing, because again, completely devoid of sport. And so when I was reading On Muscle, one, I was completely foreign as a childhood experience, but two, and maybe this is because you are a very talented and gifted writer, I thought to myself, could I lift boulders? Could I be a power lifter?
Yes.
No, I don't think the answer is no.
Yes. Well, I'll answer your first question, which is, my dad was weird. I'm not saying that every parent, my father was and is an artist and a martial artist. And so, he grew up, he grew up in Hong Kong, was a lifeguard. My parents met in a swimming pool in Hong Kong. Oh. My mom had gone there to swim and to take swimming lessons. And my dad was the lifeguard. And then they were like, we have the hots for each other.
Cute.
And the photographs of them there are amazing. And I recently was in Hong Kong and walked past the pool where they met. It was Victoria Park pool. It's still there. It's pretty
amazing.
That's awesome.
Anyway, so he grew up in a very he was a skin diver. He was swimmer, lifeguard, did martial arts, and then when he and my mom met and then moved to New York and then got married and had us, my brother and me, he's like, sweet, now I have playmates that I will now indoctrinate in the fine tradition of kung fu. And like, so he taught us all kinds of things. Like we would do karate. He was a black belt in karate and a brown belt in taekwondo. And he just like the art studio downstairs in which he worked was also like the exercise studio. So there'd be like the oil paints and the turpentine and the easel and everything, and then there's like the weight bench, the heavy bag and the speed bag. So this is the environment in which I grew up in, and there's photos of us as little kids like dangling off of his arms like baby monkeys, and like us in diapers and Superman pose, and he's like in a swimsuit, and I'm just like, what is even happening? Like, but I also know what's happening because I remember like I'd be doing like we'd be like doing, front kick, side kick, roundhouse kick downstairs in the garage before dinner. Then we'd have dinner, and then at 10 o'clock my dad would be like, all right, let's run. We're going for a jog to my pediatrician's office, which was like a mile away. And Andy and I would be like, okay. We like run, and we're like chasing him, and then we're in the parking lot, and he chose the pediatrician's office because there was like a big parking lot and he could run around. And then Andy and I would just be like, like punch each other and wait for him to be done. And then we like, all right, let's run back, and we had to run back. And that was my childhood. Oh, and then we joined the swim team. No, we did soccer, and then we hated soccer, Andy and I, because we didn't want to get our shins kicked in. And then they were like, well, you could swim. And we're like, definitely swim team. And then we loved our swim team. Like, it was just like the best. Finding your tribe, finding all these people from all different parts like of Long Island would come to this club team. It was like super diverse, and I loved it. And that was like my home. And I think like just that tradition of being like, you have to choose something. You have to choose soccer or swimming. Like I remember us sitting in the kitchen actually, and my dad told us this. My parents were sat us down, and Andy and I were like, oh, well, we don't want to do soccer. Okay, we'll do swimming. But it was like, I mean, I remember this very vividly because it changed my life. Swimming and my brother's life. Like my brother ended up swimming in college at Binghamton, and he also like became a physical therapist, and he's like a very muscular human. And I'm like, every time I have any injuries or ailments, I'm like, Andy, fix me. And he's like, well, it's going to take longer than, I can't just fix you. Like the whole thing.
Like, that's not what I want to hear.
Yeah. I'm like, but every physical therapist knows this. It's like, you have a patient come in and they're like, oh, this hurts. Okay, tell me what to do. And I want it to be fixed right now. Yeah. And it is the bane of their existence that it's basically like you have to keep doing this thing over and over and over and over and over again for the rest of your life in order for it not to hurt anymore. But now I understand after writing on muscle, actually, I really do understand how all of those things, all our pieces fit together in this wonderful way. But anyway, writing on muscle, like it is really related, I think, in a lot of ways to, there's a through line through American Chinatown, Why We Swim, on muscle, which is like this, there is a family element. There's like all about like, obviously we talked a lot about American Chinatown and what informed that, but like swimming was like, my parents meaning a swimming pool, and also we always swam, like our relationship with water. And then, and that was always something that I loved, and I wanted to understand that more. And then like on muscle was like, I wanted it to be in conversation, like with Why We Swim in this kind of like body movement way, and also like continuing the conversation with my dad. My dad lives in China, and my parents split up, like kind of started to separate like when we were in middle school and high school, and then they got divorced, and then he moved back to Hong Kong and then to China, and he lives in Guangzhou. And so I don't see him very much. Like my whole adult, like he was so present in my childhood life, and then I don't see him very much in my adult life. And it's still really hard to reconcile those two realities because, all of us know that in our childhood, like when it's just everything looms so large. Everything we talked about with food, right, today, like everyone's relationship with the dishes and the dessert soups or the fortune cookies, it's like, this is who you are. Like, you are formed around this memory. And so it absolutely makes sense to me that these things would inform my writing in this way.
Yeah. Is it time? No, I mean, it's time, but also there's so much more. And I am guilty of not having finished On Muscle. I started reading On Muscle, and I want to maybe like 10 pages in, I was like, oh no, I'm going to get to the end of this book and already be sad that it's over.
Oh,
Like, that's how good of a writer you are.
thank you.
That's a weird thing to say to your face.
That means a lot to me. Thank you, Freesia.
Yeah, you're great.
You're great.
I don't swim, and I'll read. I'll probably become a swimmer at the end of
Okay.
that book, just because
Deal.
you're. Oh no. Oh, I said that out loud.
You heard it here
And let's
first.
lift those boulders too,
Oh,
girl.
No. No, I was telling someone else that like I read
be like this.
I read a running book about like ultra marathons, and halfway through I was like, that seems reasonable. Could I do that? Maybe, sure. I don't know. I can't. I just when the writing is good enough, I'm like,
You're like,
feels fine.
That's totally reasonable.
Sure, why not? I've been convinced.
It just means you're open to the world.
If you say so. I don't know. Bonnie, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Wait, I don't think we can do this later, but I feel like you guys have actually more New York life landmarks that we didn't cover. Probably.
I went to Transfiguration Church for Chinese school on the weekends. It was just one day a week. It was like weird 1 p.m. to 4:30. And like my experience with Chinatown was like my dad would take us every week because of Chinese school. But it was fun because we got to eat food beforehand. So it was always like some sort of dim sum or like rice plate or something like that. So I have very fond memories of Chinatown.
Well, that's actually really great to hear because all of my relatives who had to go to Chinese school hated it. So I love that it was all sandwiched in it was sandwiched by food, and then you were like, I love it. This is great.
I didn't love Chinese school itself. It took me a while to just get into it. I think it wasn't until the end. I think I was there from first grade to fifth grade.
Oh wow.
That I was like, oh, I should probably be paying attention and like this is actually kind of helpful to learn stuff. But like, I was for a very long time. I was just angry that I was like not doing what regular kids do on a Saturday. So, but
You know what? Roast pork buns are way better than bologna sandwiches. That's just that is our motto.
It's true.
We know better now. We know better.
Do you think you were ever there at the same time?
I mean,
I don't know.
we
in
went.
Chinatown.
Well, no, like at Transfiguration Church.
Oh, I mean, I don't think I was there that much after I got baptized because we did not go
That's
to
fair.
church.
Okay.
I mean, I probably walked past while Santa was in there, like a lot.
Yeah. It's just
That's
funny
fair.
because like my parents have no relationship to religion
Yeah,
at all.
Same.
But
I
they were
actually
just like,
think
go
of,
to this Catholic.
Yeah. But I think it's because it was basically because it was in Chinatown, because
Yeah.
that church served like many generations of immigrants. Like I think it's really cool, and that all the services were in different languages. Like that's so awesome. I love that.
Do I know where this church is?
It's on Mott Street.
Is it the one that's close
It's
to?
the really old looking church on Mott Street.
I was gonna say, is it the one that's close to where we would eat beef cubes and all the three places were on the same street?
Yes, it's like on the other side.
Oh, okay. I do know where this is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super sorry. Again, sorry.
Just lost in our memories.
I know. We just. Anybody get a new fortune that they want to share before we wrap? Or questions? Comments. New York lore.
San Francisco.
San Francisco lore.
What's your favorite Chinatown?
Oh my God, I cannot.
Favorite child. I'm kidding.
I love them all. I love all the same. Well, I always have to have my heart. I was literally baptized in New York Chinatown, so I'm like, that's my home. That's my home. I like to describe it as my home Chinatown, but maybe like this is my adopted home Chinatown. I don't know. Yeah.
Is there a like most surprising Chinatown fact?
Oh my gosh. Well, I was always so amazed by the Las Vegas Chinatown, how it started as a mall, but then people moved there because I mean that's like
it's
that,
like a backwards.
Exactly. That to me made me understand like it's still happening. This whole draw to a place and community and desire to, you know, gather. And that's what we're doing today, right? But it's like to understand that that call is deep in a really real way. And then it manifests itself materially in different ways. But that's like the homing beacon for all of us. Like, no, it's like outside of, it's beyond Chinatown. It's just like our signal as human beings to do that.
So of all the Chinatowns that you've been to in different urban places, which city's been the best steward?
Oh, that's a really great question.
To maintaining or supporting Chinatowns.
I mean, New York is so big, right? And there's many different communities and people that support different. So like not just Manhattan's Chinatown, the historic Chinatown, but also like Chinese communities and like Flushing and Sunset Park. Like how there is both the population to sustain like the life of it, like the function of the community. I think like one of the things I really learned when I was writing that book was like the community, in order to survive, needs to serve its community. That means it has to offer services in which like people come to it. Even if they don't live there, they come here. It's like, and San Francisco was very much that. It was like you might have moved here and like you started in Chinatown because you had, you know, you knew people. There were the services to find you a job, to find you a place to live. And even when you could move out of Chinatown, you sometimes came back because of other reasons. Maybe you didn't need the services anymore as a new immigrant, but then it was like my friends are here, or like, you know, we meet here for food and all of this. And so like, I think that part of like having a living community is really important. And so I think San Francisco, it's so important historically, and then there is still like a cultural, it's like a magnet in that way. And this city and the greater Bay Area is so Asian. And I think also it's like, it serves populations beyond the Chinese and Chinese American population. It's like other Asian, and it's a really great example in Honolulu's Chinatown, where it's like, it's such a mix because those were the people who were coming through the neighborhood. And so then it becomes this like, you know, kapakai, like this whole like mixed up, but like, that's what Hawaii is, right? It's like this blend of different Asian. I don't know. This is a very roundabout way of saying that. Like I think all of these different places understand, because if there's a core population, that there's something important to hold and take care of. Like, so this question of like who has been the best steward. Like I think historically, like San Francisco prizes its, as a city, and maybe you're talking about like, are we talking about like the government? Are we talking about, you know, or are we talking about the people who like really value it? I don't know. It's a hard question to answer, but I think it's a really good one, because I think there's continuing efforts to try to be like, how do we keep these businesses here? How do we keep these Chinatowns alive? How do we support people who need, you know, services, who come here? Like, is that what you mean?
It's kind of like I'm making assumptions. I only know San Francisco. I've been to Honolulu. I've lived in London, and there are Chinatowns that become like a destination, and that's the way the city tries to support it.
Yes.
Business. You know, you talk about housing, so like that's always a struggle. Is like, where is there housing? You know, finally we got transportation, and that was a controversy here. So it's like, what are the levers, whether it be historic, cultural, like an explicit way that the city supports through government, that you can kind of maintain that? Because I mean, the obvious other thing, which you kind of hit on, is okay, population. Like, is that what keeps it? Or is it some other recognition? Because you can say population is a thing that supports it, but there's all these other places where Chinatown is everywhere, right? It's do you destination it? Do you is it more diluted because you can go all these to the other places to have services, to you know, malls, things like that.
Right.
So I don't know. I just kind of wonder what's the balance that kind of keeps Chinatown, and who defines what it's supposed to be, you know? So it's a place.
Yeah, I think those are huge questions that like we all that have been asked so many times and are really important ones that should keep being asked. And I think all of those levers that you touched on are all really important, but there is something kind of ineffable. There's something kind of like hard to. I think actually sometimes about like the DC Chinatown, which is like now it's just like an arch, right? It's not a neighborhood anymore because no one lives there, and certain things weren't preserved in such a way that people would keep coming back in a living way. And I keep coming back to this idea of like a living community, because like if no one's actually coming to shop or like congregate or like have like life functional reasons to be there, then I think the neighborhood does not have, it becomes like a relic. And so is that important? Like, is it important to have an arch? Is it important to have a plaque? I mean, but what I think we are both talking about though is that like animation, animated community. And that's why that vibrancy and that aliveness is why people go to Chinatown. They don't go just to buy I mean, if there were no people there, if it was just like trinket stores, like, no, they're not going to go there. No one cares about DC Chinatown's arch, you know, or like, you know, and so I just, those things are designed to like signal that it's a Chinatown, right? Like, and again, for those reasons we all talked about, that are so fascinating, that are really rooted in this place, but it's not really, this is all my opinion, right? It's like, it's not really, doesn't feel like a Chinatown unless the people are there to make it so.
I think that's why I liked how your book focused a lot on the youth of Chinatown and how they felt the belonging there, but some of them just like didn't really know why they were there, but they just felt like they belonged there, and they were young. And I kept having to remind myself that the book was written like 15 years ago, but I kind of wanted like a where are they now sort of update.
Yeah, well, I can tell you that Rosa is she's a mom. She has kids. She is like, you're right, like that generation is like, and they still have such a deep connection to place, and it's not the same, but it's like I think they always are like, there's again like the circle, the radius may be getting bigger, but it's still like there's still a tethering to place. And again, like that's why I wanted to talk to these different generations, because it's like, you know, someone who's like an old timer who's been there, you know, since, you know, was born and raised there, and goes and sits in the park because this is where the living room and this is like where people are, is going to have a different reason than a kid who's like, I don't know why I'm here, but I do feel that I almost can't even articulate it yet, but still decides to be like, you know, when I get to high school, I like lead these tours of the alleyways because this is where I grew up, and like and then goes like on their In Search of Roots trip to, you know, back to China, like the village, and just to be like, I want to understand where my family came from, even though I don't have that relationship. I still want to have. I want to build a relationship. I want to understand what it means to me now, and everyone's story is going to be different. But I think that that's why, like, for example, like these organizations that are like in Chinatown and help the youth like kind of go back to China and be like investigate their family, because it's a part of like it's like a history project, right? But that allows them to feel like they have ownership over this relationship to place and their culture that they didn't have before because they didn't understand it and they didn't know about it. So it's like you then feel grounded and you care, and you, again, like you have agency over that process too, and also what happens to it.
I just wanted to say, listening to everyone in the room talking has kind of helped revive some of my memories. I came here when I was 7 years old from Hong Kong, and the place we landed was in Chinatown. We had 2 SRO rooms. There were 4 of us, my mother, my father, me, and my brother. And then our next place was on Stockton Street. And then after that, we moved up on, I think, Mason Street. So we lived there for 3 years, and then we moved to Virginia. And I had not thought about how much those 3 years, how short of a time was it that, you know, made things very, very indelible. You know, and in Virginia there was, I heard that there were 2,000 Chinese people, but there wasn't a Chinatown. There was no tofu. Okay? And so we moved back here when I was 16. And I was just reflecting on the fact that when people move out of the neighborhood, they went into the Richmond. Then, you know, once that was settled, they moved into the Sunset. And then once that was settled, they moved into the Excelsior and Daly City and beyond and stuff. But we keep coming back because, as you said, it's the services. You know, there is childcare all the way to senior care and end of life and stuff like that. We keep coming back because all of our good memories, the food basically, we keep coming back because this is where the core of the community is, even though we move and live somewhere else.
Thank you so much for that.
Thank you for that. Bonnie, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
I'm so happy. My sort of final thoughts is like, I didn't, again, grow up really in Chinatown. Field trips, occasional family things, some volunteering. I'm surprised that we're here having this conversation for me. And I think it is sort of what you touched on of like, there is something about like the seeking and the searching and kind of like it's standing in for something for me that I am sort of surprised about for myself, because we also live near Clement Street, which is its own sort of satellite Chinatown. So I guess this is also like a little surprise quest for myself. But we're really glad that you could join us for this.
Thank you.
Where can people find you and your work?
I'm on Instagram at Bonnie Tsui 8, of course. Natch. And online, bonnietsui.com.
People in the room, if you would like to buy Bonnie's books, you can go scan the QR codes in the back and order them immediately. I highly suggest that you do that. Listeners at home, if you would like, I would suggest bookshop.org. You can find all of her books there. Also immediately go get them. They will make you want to, 1, go to all the Chinatowns and eat all of the things. 2, swim, either pool or open water, possibly both. Then 3, lift very heavy things, including boulders in other countries. Just saying. If you would like to find us, you can find us at worstqualitycrab.com or on Instagram at worstqualitycrab. Thank you so much for joining us. It is a delight to be here at KLW. And until next time, let's go again.
Thank y'all once more. Give it up again for the team from Worst Quality Crab.